please let me know again so we can get started. Hey Francois, awesome. Can you hear me, Francois? Hey Collins, can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure you can hear me before I get started. Awesome. Alrighty, then let's get started. Once again, like I said, please read the risk disclaimer. You can pause the video for that. It's our standard. So first of all, a quick update on the challenge. The challenge has officially concluded. I got in trouble yesterday and I had to add some money to the account. As you can see here, I had to add another $1,000 in order to get myself out of trouble, and you can see this here. So it was not a nice day, and yeah, like I said, I didn't have another choice. So the challenge is officially over. However, I'm going to continue trading this account with lower risk with the system, and you guys can still follow along, and I do a weekly update video, let you know what happened in the account. I got out of the trade and I took the money out again, so we're back to a $1,000 start capital, so to speak. Yeah, so like I said, officially the challenge is over, because it doesn't make sense to add and withdraw money constantly. That's not a fair challenge, so I consider it done. It was just too much risk. I was taking way too high of positions, and I decided to keep going with the account, but just use a regular risk or normal risk, what you should use in your account too, if you do trade it with real money. So I'm gonna handle it with that going forward. What I use to calculate my lot size is I use 0.01 per 500. However, that's already very risky, so for you I would recommend to use 0.01 per 1,000. That's probably a very safe lot size you can use for the system. That definitely allows you to take up to 6 positions, and then after the 6th position you need to set a hard stop. And then if the stop gets hit, then you have to move forward to the next trade. That's the way I trade it. So I don't use 1 position stop loss. I allow myself up to 6 positions, hence the name 6 bullet trading system. And if you do that, then you should use 0.01 per 1,000, and then take up to 6 positions. And if the 6th position is opened, then you need to set a hard stop at that point. And then if the stop gets hit, you start over. So that's the way I trade. However, having said that, because I got in trouble, I was trying to find a way to avoid that from happening in the future. So let's go back and I'll show you exactly when this all started. And you can see the blue lines already here. This was my first position, and that was yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I can't remember. This was the first position that I took. And now look at the bottom indicator that I added. That is also available in the new template, which you can download in the Telegram channel. Or if you just want to add the indicator, you can do that too. See, the bottom indicator at this point was completely red. So I had no business taking this trade here going long. So if I would have had that indicator at that point, I could have avoided taking this trade. Also, if you look in the trade that we originally took here yesterday, by the time you actually get your arrow, which would be our exit indication, you can see it's red. So that would actually allow you to stay in the trade longer if you see this. So you wouldn't have to close here and then just wait until we turn white again here on the bottom indicator, which we turn white here. And then you could have exited anywhere down here or here. So it would actually allow you to stay in the trade for a lot longer and take a lot more profit from that move. Like I said, this indicator is in the updated package. I added that to the Telegram channel today. Also, just because I know some of you are going to ask, I removed the second band, the outside band. I just added that in the beginning for visual effect, meaning that you kind of see a buy zone and a sell zone. However, everything above the red is considered a sell zone, and everything above underneath the green is considered the buy zone. So you really don't need that second line. So I removed that from mine. As a matter of fact, on the template that I'm using, I even made those lines gray so they're less distracting, because I already know underneath the band is buy, above the band is sell. We just don't take trades in the bands. And this was not in the bands yesterday. Like I said, those bands shift. So when I took this trade, it looked good at the time, but if I would have had this indicator showing me a complete red here, then I would have known I should not take this trade and actually keep my short that I had going open and ride it out all the way down. Because like I said, if you're in a short position and you see this band starting to become red, you can stay in this trade at least until this turns white, but usually on the cross somewhere. You can see here it crosses over to the other side. So if you close it anyway here, you did good. But usually, like I said, if it turns white and it hits the band, then by all means go ahead and close the trade. Also, yes, for another info here, you can see the white band, which we didn't have on the old template. However, this is the indicator that actually gives you the white arrows. I just removed those bands to be visual because I thought it looks cleaner, which it does, and we really only need the arrows. However, for orientation, for my own orientation where we are, I put those bands back on. So those bands are actually responsible for giving us this white arrow. Whenever price comes out of the white band and starts to move toward the band again, we get this arrow. That's how this indicator works. Like I said, I just added it back so I can have a visual of where we are in the process. And then, like I said, once this turns white, just set your take profit to that band, because it's gonna get hit at some point. And sure enough, here would have been your exit on this trade. So instead of getting out here, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, I think that was our initial entry. Yeah, you could have taken, oops, jeez. You could have taken this whole move all the way to down here. So that's a lot. That's twice the profit, basically, if you would have stayed in that trade for that long. I mean, that would have been altogether 12 hours. In general, I mean, anytime price comes out of both bands, that's always a good place to take profit. You know, even if you don't get the whole thing. I mean, at that point, you would be in trade for, I don't know how many hours, probably 7 or 8 hours at that point. So there's no shame to take profit once it comes out of both bands. However, now with the new indicator, as you can see on the bottom, here is red. And if you wanted to enter a long here and you look down, it tells you you can't. There's no long trade here. So you can only take a long when this indicator, and let me zoom in again, when this indicator is white and within the lines, there are white lines on the chart that I added, or if the indicator shows green, that's when you can go long. And you can only go short, same thing, if this bottom indicator is white and within the lines, or red. That's the only time you can take a short or with this indicator added. And let me show you what this does today, because that was a really good example today. Yeah. So this setup was from today. We had price coming out of the band. We got our white arrow, and then I added a semaphore indicator. That's another confirmation that we are possibly at the top. When you see the yellow dot with the blue sun around it, that means that the market is exhausted. It repaints, so keep that in mind. But it's a good indication that that probably showed up here already and then moved up as the candles moved up. It's an indicator that shows you exhaustion in the market, meaning that in this case the buyers are getting weak, and then it tries to predict the top, which it probably started here already. So don't take it as for granted. You still have to wait for all the confirmation, so you can't just jump in when you see this. But yeah, once again, the price came out of the band, we got the white arrow, and then price moved up. We had this exhaustion indicator, the sun, and then we had our I think there were scissors at first here again, which is the same thing. And then our old entry would have been right here, meaning we get the C indicator, we have price outside the band, we have the white arrow, and then after the white arrow we wait for and the C indicator printing, we wait for the first bearish candle in this case because we want to go short. But now look down, my mouse is over that candle, can you see? Right here, this is green. So that would have told you we're not quite done. So you cannot take this trade. Okay, then price continues and price comes down here, and we're still not in between the lines. Can you see this? So you still cannot take the trade. So the first candle that you see here, that it was actually within the white bands, is this candle here. Okay, and now we still need a bearish candle to enter, because you cannot enter on a bullish candle. That's one of our rules. So you wait for the first bearish candle, and here is your actual entry now. And then you set your stop loss up here if you use the stop loss. But this would be your entry. Now, if you want to take it even a notch higher, it's called a semaphore indicator. It has three parts. It has the yellow dots with the blue sun. It has green and red dots, and it also has yellow dots by itself without the sun around it. The green and red dots are very mild pullbacks. Just the yellow dot means it's a extended pullback, meaning a longer pullback. And then the yellow dot with the sun around it is basically the exhaustion point or top or bottom. And like I said, it's a predictive indicator, so you cannot say, okay, I got this printed, so this is the top. It will still move up as price moves up and exhausts, but it will show you that it is coming. That's all it is. We still need all our confirmations. At the same time, if you don't see the sun when you're in a trade, that means you still got room to go, basically. But having said that, it shows you minor pullbacks, which are the green and red dots here. So if you get a signal here, you can see the green dot. That means we are technically in a pullback, and you don't have a red dot here. So you could wait. You don't have to, that's not required, but you could wait until you get the red dot, because that's when the pullback is over and continues down. And sure enough, here you get the red dot, so you could actually enter on this candle and even get a better entry and literally have no drawdown whatsoever. If you look here, if you enter on this candle, you literally have almost no drawdown, and it goes pretty much straight down from that point. So like I said, you can use that in your advantage too. It's a little bit more of an advanced entry, but like I said, at least wait until you get one bar printing within these white lines on the bottom indicator. And then if you wait for a bearish candle, so this would be our standard entry from now on. That would save you from all this up and down and going through it. And if you want to take it to the next level, like I said, if you get the signal on this candle, but you see a green dot, meaning we're in a pullback, then you can wait technically until that pullback is over, which it is on this candle. Now it might have been shown the red dot on this candle and just repainted over there. That's fine. So in that case, this would still be your entry. But your stop loss should always be above the highest point, whatever indicator or price is the highest. So in this case, it would be the sun. So you would, if you take the trade here, you would put your stop loss right above here, and not right above the indicator. You need to leave at least one arrow size room. So let me show you that here. So my stop loss would be right around here. You got to give it a little bit of wiggle room. That's about one arrow size above the highest point that we have. That would be the stop loss, and your entry would be here. And then your exit earliest would be here. If you wait for a reversed entry signal, then somewhere here in this area. Oh, and here's another example, by the way, for what I meant in my training video. Again, we had price coming out of the band. We have those new dots, which are 1 hour dots, but they're just as valid to take a trade. They're just not as rock solid as the white ones. But anyway, this bottom indicator is in the white, like almost at the middle, so you can take this trade. This is allowed. And then we get our signal here on this candle, but however, as you can see, that candle is in the band, and in the band we don't take a trade. But then see what happens on the next candle. Price comes out again and closes outside. Here you can take your trade. And then in this case, that was right before the trading zone was over. If I see this yellow dot and the resistance printing, at any point here you can exit, because you do not want to go through this. Technically, we're still in this trade because this is just a pullback, and that pullback actually just concluded. But like I said, that's some advanced stuff. In this case, I actually was in this trade, and I just closed it out somewhere around here. I think when I saw this yellow dot and then this coming back, I closed it, because it was close to end of the trading zone area. Anyway, yeah, so once again, the new bottom indicator is available in the new template, and it's in the Telegram channel. That will keep you out of trades like this. You know, when you see the setup, and that was a setup yesterday, like I said, the band just shifted. It was outside of the band, and when I saw this, I was like, oh, perfect, let me go long again. However, if I would have had that indicator, I would have never gotten long here. I would have just stayed in my trade and rode my short all the way down here somewhere. I mean, like I said, that would have been at this point 12 hours. You know, if I see this, I probably would close it. Like I said, I would even consider closing at any point when that price comes out of both bands. That is always a good exit point, even if you don't have your exit indication yet. Yeah, and then I added the 1 hour support dots back in. They're like light blue. And then we have the white dots, which are still the 4 hour dots. And then we have the green and red big dots that are the daily supports. That's an even stronger support level. And we have now the semaphore indicator. And you can see this here. Here was the reverse point. We had our entry here, and it was white, so that was valid. So you take the trade right here, still outside of the band. Your stop loss goes 1 arrow length underneath here, and then it comes out on the other side and gives you the yellow dot and the scissors, so you can exit the trade right here. And unfortunately, you do not get a continuation trade here. That would have been a nice one, but it was also in the band, so not valid. However, then we got this setup here. Yeah, and I removed the second red and green band. Like I said, for us, everything is a buy zone outside of the green, and everything is a sell zone above the red. Because people were asking me like, oh, do I have to wait until it comes back into the cell zone? No, if it's outside anywhere here, it's valid. It doesn't matter how far outside. Same here. If you take a buy, anything outside or underneath the green band is valid. And in this case, like I said, this happened today again. I explained it in my trainings video. If your entry happens to be here and it's in the band, there's a 1 candle rule. You wait 1 candle, and sure enough, it comes back out, and you can grab it right here. And then, boom, here's the trade. All right, questions. Okay. Yes, we are live. I'm sorry, Pat. I just tried to explain it first before I answer all the questions. We are live, yes. 4 colors on slow red fiber. Yes. Gray, white, like I said, I consider that white. And you can change it if you want. It just shows you up or down towards the center, the different colors. But gray, white is what I consider white. So that would be a go if it is within the lines that I added. So you have to make sure that the bar closes inside that white line before a trade is valid. And then you still have to wait for your first bearish candle, because we do not enter the market when we go long, when we go short on a bullish candle. So on this candle was the first one where this indicator printed within the white line right here, as you can see. That was the first one, but we cannot enter here because it's a bullish candle. We're trying to go short, so we have to wait for the first bearish candle, which is here, and that will be your entry. And like I said, if you want to take it to the next level, technically we are in a small pullback at the moment, so you would have to wait for this red dot to appear, and in this case you can't enter because we already got our entry candle. That would just give you a better entry here. But I assume that red dot was actually on this candle before, so it would have been our entry candle anyway. And that's fine because our stop loss is up here, so it never came up there. And then it was playing around a little bit, and that also helps you with your psyche. You know, as it moves down and you see this green dot, expect a little bit of a pullback, which it did, but then it concluded and continued down, so that helps you to stay in the trade knowing what is actually happening right now. So if you see this green dot, don't freak out. That's a minor pullback. That's all it is. And sure enough, it pulled back a little bit and then continued further down. So it helps you to, mentally stay in the trade and concentrate on your target, which is at least a close outside of the green band and a white arrow. Ideally, the reversed entry signal. So if it comes down here and then on the next, we already have I call it sun. We have the sun, and you see this printing or the scissors printing at any point down here. I would exit the trade and then wait and see if I can find if I can get a entry signal. But your minimum target is always the other side, meaning the in this case the green band, and then or candle close and then the white arrow. That would be a good exit point too. And those dots, like I said, help you to stay in the trade because you know what's going on. You see this coming down, going up, coming down, going up, and then going down. So once again, new added rule is that bottom indicator. If you want to go short, make sure that this bottom indicator is either grayish white, whatever it is, that's the same thing for me, and is within the band, or even better, is already red. If you have that, then you can enter the trade. If it shows green or is above the white line, you cannot enter short, so you have to wait. It would have saved you from entering here and then going up again and then going down and coming up again. This is, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's almost an hour. That can play with your emotions. When you're in a trade and it goes down and then comes back and then goes down and then comes back. It comes down and then goes back. They can play with your emotions a lot. And you have your stop loss up here. So that helps you to stay out of trouble, basically. And would have kept you from taking this trade yesterday, which I did. It was a valid trade at the time. However, if you look down here, it's like way outside of the white middle zone, so to speak, and it's completely red, so that would have not been an entry. As a matter of fact, that would have kept me in the trade going further down and having the confidence to keep this trade going even through the pullbacks, because I know I don't have to worry about anything until I see this turning back white and going into the middle line here. So you could have closed it anywhere here. That was when it started to go into the middle zone. Anywhere down here you could have closed it and you would have been good. Hi Emika. Yes, it does repaint, but very, very, very slowly, if that makes sense. It's not like the white band that we have here, where you can actually see it moving. It's not that bad. It's more like a long-term repainting indicator. So I can tell you that when this trade happened here today, when this trade happened here today, it was indeed where it is now. It did not repaint much. It was right smack in the middle of our zone here. Let me zoom out a little so you can see this. So we have a white line here, and then we also have a white line down here. So anywhere within that zone and it's white, we can go either way. If you want to go long, that's fine. If you want to go short, that's fine too, if it shows this. Or you want to see green for going long or red for going short. Sometimes that happens. Usually when it is a continuation trade and it pulls back hard enough so we can actually get an entry outside of the band, you see sometimes green is already there. So again, if you want to go long, you need it within the white lines or green. And if you want to go short from up here, it needs to be within the white lines or red. Otherwise you cannot enter. And if you get an entry signal for a short and it shows you green, which it did here on this candle, and it was green at that point, then you have to wait until price goes back into the band, into the white line and turns white/gray, which happened right around this area. And then you wait for your bearish candle, and here's your entry, and you're good. Does that make sense? Let me zoom out again, zoom in. So like I said, our old entry would have been here on this candle, and on this candle it was still green down here, so you cannot take that trade. You would have to wait until this basically moves into our area that we are allowed to take a trade, which happens on this candle here. And then you have to wait for the next bearish candle, which is here. So this would be a valid entry right here, and it saves you from going through this. You don't have to sit through all of that. And again, even more important, it saves you from entering the wrong way, which I did yesterday and basically ruined my challenge. You can see all those additional entries that I fired. So I was in trouble, and good thing I took a nap before yesterday's trading session. I woke up right around here, right before the session started, and then I took the trade here, which was like almost 2/3 into the session. So at that point I was already in front of the computer for 8 hours when I took this trade, and then I stayed up until it concluded here, and then I went to bed. So I was basically sitting in front of the computer for 28 hours just to get out of this trade. That's how crazy I am. And yeah, needless to say, as soon as I was out of the trade, I just wanted to break even at that point, which I did at this level here. And I exited the trade, and I was like, I need to go to sleep. Because 28 hours is a little much. So, and like I said, it would have saved me from actually taking that trade in the first place. So I could have, because I was in a short here from up here. We took a short entry up here, and you can see even with the bottom indicator, this would have been a valid entry, because that's the first candle, the first bar closing within our white lines. So you could have taken this trade, and that was actually my entry yesterday when we were trading together in the Telegram channel. That was my entry. And then it was playing around for, I don't know, 2 hours or a little bit over 2 hours before it actually started moving. And we made jokes about, come on, do something. And then it finally started moving. And then it came out here, and I closed the trade. I think I closed it right here. Because like I said, I was in that trade for almost 4 hours at that point, or 5 hours at that point. And it's always a good exit if you come outside of both bands and you close it here. You did well at that point. So there's no shame taking the trade off the table at this point. And then right on the next candle, we get the setup. And like I said, I didn't have that bottom indicator. I'm like, let me do a quick ride back up. That was my initial thought. And I took it, and yeah, almost 24 hours later is when I was able to close it. So that was a lot of fun. That's why I didn't do an update yesterday, because I was napping in front of the computer with my alerts on high volume, hoping that I wake up and get an alert. All right, Def Pad, hi. Dark green line means long, and gray and white. Sure. No. I'm sorry. Okay, let me go over this again. You can go long if the bottom indicator shows you one of the two. If the bottom indicator is green, you can go long, obviously. Green for long, red for short. So if you go short and you see red, you're good. If you want to go long and you see green, you're good. And if price is within the middle zone, which are those two white lines, let me zoom out so you see both lines here. So if price is within that middle zone, you can go either way. Then you can go long or short. That's a confirmation for both. But you cannot go long if this shows red, like here, or is outside of the white line. This is an area where you cannot go short, from here to here. And you cannot go short as long as it is above the white line on the other side, and white or green. Does that make sense? So short, red for short, green for long, or it has to be within the white lines in the middle. It's called a ranging market, and if you get a signal in a ranging market, by all means go ahead and take it. That's fine. So if the indicator is in right smack in the middle, between the white lines, that means it's a ranging market, and then you can take either signal, short or long. It's just going to be a short trade, which I like. I prefer that, in and out, quick. And again, let me go back here so you see that. If you would have taken that entry with me here yesterday, at that point, we were just within the white zone, the middle zone. But your first exit would have been somewhere where price comes out of the bands, which I closed the trade somewhere around here. But now if you look down and you see this full on red, you can actually stay in the trade and let it run if you wanted to. So you don't have to close it here anymore, because you know that price is not going to change directions until this actually crosses over, which it did right here. That was the crossover where it basically flipped from underneath to going above the middle line. So you could have stayed in the trade a lot longer, and if you stay within the trading session, and then you see price come really like closing outside of the band of both bands, and you see that the end of the trading session is coming up, then by all means go ahead and close the trade. But that would have given you another 35 pips on this trade. Or if you ride it all the way down to here, if you exited here where you got a few indication that the market is going to turn around, that would have given you, what was that, 130 pips instead of somewhere around here 78 pips. So not only does it keep you from taking trades going the wrong way, but it also can help you stay in the trade if you're lucky enough and it happens and you have the motivation to stay up and wait it out. But keep in mind, at that point I think you were in trade for almost 6 hours, because it was like going sideways for forever before it actually started taking off. So I think I even closed it earlier than that, because I was getting tired, and now we were chatting, and then I saw the setup, and I'm like, let me take this. Why not? It's a quick trade, thinking we're gonna go up again, and hopefully a little bit faster this time, because market is moving finally. Yeah, and then I got stuck in this trade. And again, with this bottom indicator, this would have happened at all. Because now I have to look down and see, is this within the white lines to go long, or is it green? And it's neither. It's actually full on red. So now with a new rule, I have no business taking this trade, and it keeps me from losing money. And I know that a few people took this trade and got stopped out yesterday, and then re-entered, and it didn't go to the other side, and possibly even got stopped out again, or closed it for a few pips profit. So this indicator would have told you, no, we're not done with the move down, so you cannot go long. So like I said, if you go into the Telegram channel, I posted that indicator separately. So if that's all you want, you can download that. It's called a TMA slope. It's in the Telegram channel in the file section. Or you can download the complete package again in the Telegram channel that has also the updated template with only one band, and then the added 1 hour fractals support and resistance that I added. Back in, we used to have that on the template, and then you will also have the TMA slope on it and the indicators in the package. So either way, you just download the indicator itself and slap it on the chart, or you just re-download the whole package that gives you the template and everything you need, and also the semaphore indicator. That is also available for a single download in the chart in the chat, or you can just download the whole package and then you have everything together. They're both in the updated package. Yeah, like I said, I will continue trading that small account, but with reduced risk, which right now I'm since I'm not quite at 1500, I'm using 0.02, and I allow myself 6 positions. And then once I enter the 6th position, I just set a hard stop, and that's it. But you can trade it in whichever way, shape, or form you feel good about it. You can just use one position and set your stop loss at the area where you're supposed to, which means the highest point, indicator price, whatever is the highest, and then leave one arrow length room in there. Then you should be good. And now with this new indicator, you will definitely have a lot more winners than losers, I can tell you that, because it does keep you out of the bad trades. It's a little safer. Yeah, any questions? I give you a minute, and I'm gonna take a sip of water and mute myself, and then I answer all your questions. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. So if anyone has questions, let me know. Like I said, the updated package is in the Telegram channel. If you just want to download the 2 additional indicators, they're also in the Telegram channel. I posted them today before I updated the package and uploaded it. So you can do it either way. Just add the indicators that you are missing right now, or you can download the whole package with the updated template that also includes the 1 hour support and resistance, and only has one band, and has the white band visual. Like I said, you can decide what you want. I added it back in just for, it's kind of like a roadmap for me, but if you want to disable that, you can do that indicator like this, and then the white band disappears again. So either way, whatever you prefer. This looks cleaner. If you have the white bands on, then you kind of like know where you are. But for us, it's only important that we only take trades outside of the band. So any questions before I close it down for today? Let me know in the chat. Also, yeah, guys, do me a favor. I forgot to say that. Please, 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 if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I need 25 more subscribers to get to 100. And once I'm at 100, I can actually change the URL to my channel, because right now it's a letters and numbers salad, and I don't like that. I could actually change it to Mastering FX 2021 or something like that, so it's easier to remember. And YouTube doesn't allow to do that until you hit 100 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel and get me up to that 100. Also, don't forget to leave me a like if it helped you. And since we don't have any questions, I'm gonna end it here. But you can find me in the Telegram channel as usual. On the old template, does it have the 1 hour support level? On the old one, it doesn't. I added it back in. You would have to re-download the package then and use the new template in the package. It has the same name, so all you have to do is just copy it over the old one and then reload the template, and then you get the look like this that you see here. Yeah, we used to use that, but it was not, it gave you a lot of false entries, if that makes sense. So I reduced it to the 4 hour to give it a little bit more or higher winning rate. However, now with this new indicator on the bottom, we can add them back in because the indicator filters the bad one out. So, you know, now if you get this 1 hour support level and you see this being white right in the middle, you're allowed to take that trade. Whereas before, it was always a gamble with the 1 hour support. The 4 hour was just more reliable. But having added this bottom indicator now, we can actually add the 1 hour support back in, and it gives you more trading opportunities. That's why I added them back in. Because before the old rule, remember, we had the 4 hour support dots here. You could have taken this trade and then closed it here, but you could have not taken the trade back up. That was our rule before. But now, since we have this bottom indicator and we see that it's smack in the middle, yeah, take that trade. We're in a ranging market. You can take it up here. Let me zoom in. Again, that rule hasn't changed. That was our entry signal. That was inside the band, so you cannot take the trade. However, one candle rule, and there it is. Comes right back out. So you grab it here, put your stop loss underneath here somewhere, and then in this case, you get the yellow dots and these scissors. So I would have exited the trade somewhere around here. I think I exited right here. As a new indicator that I'm testing right now, and it's also available in the Telegram channel. Let me show you this real quick if I can find it. There you go. And it's this indicator here. It's called the buy and sell zone. So you get the blue zone and the red zone, and this zone actually, let me zoom out a little bit. This zone actually prints on the new day. So as soon as we enter into a new trading day, we get those buy and sell zones as an added confirmation. However, I have not tested it yet. I'm testing it right now. But that would give you even more confirmation to take a long or where to take a short. And they do repaint. I noticed this here today because that sell zone was actually right here at first, right where our entries were. So those entries would have been valid. But then as we had this big move up, this zone shifted up too. And from what I understand, those zones are based on the Fibonacci levels. But they seem to be pretty decent, you know, because, you know, you go into a new day and they print, and then you see red up here, you see blue down here, and then you have price coming into the blue right away, and you get a buy setup that gives you added confirmation. This is already green. So see, this would be a long where you actually are already in the green zone, and then boom, there you go, you take off right away. That was even before our session started. And then it goes up into the sell zone, so you already know what's coming. And then all you have to do is wait for that indicator to go back into the middle, so to speak. And right at that point, we get a setup right here. And then you can take it the other way. And once you're in the blue zone, you're good to go to exit the trade. So that's something I'm testing right now, but it's not in the package right now. Because I haven't tested it yet. However, I did upload that in the Telegram channel as well. So if you want to add that, I think it's called the buy and sell zone indicator or something. Buy zone and sell zone indicator. It's also in the Telegram channel, but it's not in the package yet. So you would have to manually download that and add it if you want that. Like I said, I'm testing that out right now. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I did make some money today on that one move. Because I was sleeping for a while after being up for 28 hours, but I was able to actually catch this one, and I wrote it up to the yellow dot and this right around here, because I had the sell and buy zone. So when I saw this coming into the sell zone, so to speak, that's where I closed the trade, right when it started coming out of it. And you can still see our old supply and demand zones with that indicator over it. It just looks a little funny because they mix colors, but you can still see the supply and demand here. It's still visible. Okay, any more questions? Okay, well, if you have questions later on, let me know in the Telegram channel. Also let me know how your trading week is going so far. I'm just curious if you had some success with the template or not. Now you definitely should have some more success with the bottom indicator added to it, to keep you out from the bad trades. And hope we can all make some moolah this week. All right, you all have a great night, and see you in the Telegram chat. Goodbye. If I find the end stream button, there it is. All right, goodbye.